Here's your wrestling news for October 9th, 2022, and we're kicking off today with WWE's Extreme Rules, as after weeks of teases of the White Rabbit and months of speculation, Bray Wyatt is back in WWE. In the days leading up to Extreme Rules, many assumed that Wyatt's return would happen at the event due to the latest video from the White Rabbit, and fans in Philadelphia were not disappointed. After Matt Riddle defeated Seth Rollins in the Fight Pit, the original Bro and Daniel Cormier were about to leave when the lights went off and Wyatt's voice started singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands." Understandably, the Philly crowd lost their collective minds over what was happening, and the song continued until a burned Fiend mask appeared on the announce table. When a door appeared on the stage, the crowd was at a fever pitch, and a masked man carrying a lantern revealed himself to be Wyatt. The show ended with Wyatt's return and him blowing out his lantern, debuting his new moth logo in the process. Wyatt didn't get physical during his return to WWE, but judging by the reaction from the crowd, he didn't need to, as his comeback more than did its job last night at Extreme Rules. So what this run for Wyatt will be like, we don't know for sure yet, but we know what it won't be. The symbology during his return told the story, as the destroyed Firefly Funhouse made it clear that this isn't going to be a repeat of The Fiend. That's despite the use of Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard, Huskus the Pig, and Abby the Witch, which could likely be the last time fans see these characters on TV. This new iteration of Wyatt also won't be the cult leader seen from his pre-2019 days, and we're going to get something entirely different. Hopefully, whatever WWE has planned for this new Wyatt is well received, as Triple H will personally be overseeing his creative, and we're excited to see what the future brings for the returned former Universal Champion. Extreme Rules 2022 opened up with the Donnybrook six-man tag team match between Imperium and the Brawling Brutes, a match that had a lot to live up to. The match was only 24 hours removed from the war Gunther and Sheamus had on SmackDown, which in itself was a rematch from their classic at Clash at the Castle. Thankfully, the match last night certainly delivered, and after Gunther's win on Friday, it was only expected that the Brutes picked up the win during the six-man tag. The win for the Brawling Brutes at Extreme Rules was a clear way to indicate that Gunther vs. Sheamus 3 is coming. The most likely candidate for the inevitable rematch may be Crown Jewel, which may be where WWE finally pulls the trigger on a Sheamus win, making him a Grand Slam champion. The biggest story from last night's match is that WWE hasn't given up on Sheamus as a possible champion, and with this being arguably his best babyface run ever, WWE sticking by the veteran superstar makes a lot of sense. The Brawling Brutes had a good night in Philadelphia at Extreme Rules, but the same couldn't be said for their fellow European, Drew McIntyre. Going on third against Karrion Kross, the strap match was probably the weakest match of the night, which is only partly down to being slap bang in the middle of the six-match card. The real problem, however, is that the match just didn't click, and the finish, which saw Scarlett hit Drew with an unreal amount of pepper spray, didn't help either. Borrowing a line from WrestleMania 17's main event, it was a match that both men had to win, and neither man could afford to lose. In the end, it was Drew who took the loss in a setback he couldn't afford following his defeat at Clash at the Castle. And while Kross walked away the victor, the finish was so unclean that it hardly did him any favors, as week after week, we're seeing his wife get the advantage for him. An underwhelming match with an underwhelming finish, WWE had hoped the Kross win would establish him as a legitimate star, but it actually moved the dial very little for the former NXT champion. If McIntyre had the worst night at this weekend's Extreme Rules Premium Live event, then Liv Morgan was not far behind him. In the second match, Morgan defended the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match, which except for a few botches, wasn't badly done. As predicted, Rousey won back the title she'd lost in July, and this win was long overdue. Simply put, Rousey has been better in every facet over Morgan, both as a wrestler and a character in recent months. Instead of tapping out, Morgan passed out in Rousey's hold, which protects her somewhat in defeat, but don't expect another title reign for Liv for a very long time. According to reports, the plans for WrestleMania 39, now just 6 months away, is for Bianca Belair to face Charlotte Flair, and for Ronda Rousey to have her long-awaited singles match with Becky Lynch. All signs point to Rousey walking into SoFi Stadium in April 2023 as champion, and should she lose the title to Lynch, it could be well over a year before Morgan even gets close to another reign. Even that second reign may never come for Liv, but with a post-title loss smile last night and her Harley Quinn appearance, a character change may be coming for Morgan, something that could be exactly what's needed for the now former champion. As we mentioned, Bray Wyatt made his return to WWE TV at last night's Extreme Rules, but he's not the only notable name who showed up. The event also saw an I Quit match between Finn Balor and Edge, two men who are known for their resolve and never giving up. To even the odds against the Judgment Day, Rey Mysterio appeared to help Edge, as did a returning Beth Phoenix, but she proved to be her husband's downfall. When Rhea Ripley threatened to hit a concerto on the Glamazon, Edge quit to protect his wife, which didn't go as planned as Ripley still hit the move on Beth. We'll have to see what's next for the feud, but after being on the receiving end of a concerto, we have to imagine that Beth Phoenix will be hungry for revenge. Before this week's AEW Dynamite, Andrade El Idolo picked a fight with Sammy Guevara over comments made by both men on social media. Andrade is said to have thrown 2 or 3 punches and was sent home for it, while Guevara wisely did not fight back, and now more has come to light. When Ringside News asked around, they were told that AEW's higher-ups had been warned ahead of time that a fight was going to break out, and that Andrade openly said to people that he was going to AEW Dynamite to punch Sammy. Ringside News added that when someone informed AEW's legal team about Andrade's threat, nothing was done about it, and Andrade was still able to show up to the AEW TV taping. After what happened at All Out, you would think AEW would take threats of violence backstage more seriously, but that wasn't what happened this week. Now Andrade has been sent home, and his future with the company is unclear, but Tony Khan can't claim that this recent physical altercation came out of nowhere. And we're ending with even more from Extreme Rules, as last night's event took place in Philadelphia, which will also be the host city for WrestleMania 40 in 2024. WrestleMania 40 will certainly be a huge event, and the logo for the event has now been revealed. It was during the kickoff show that Jerry Lawler debuted the new logo, featuring the iconic cracked Liberty Bell that can be found in the City of Brotherly Love. Not only that, but the logo uses Roman numerals, something that hasn't been seen since WrestleMania all the way back in 2014. Of course, no matches have been announced for the April 2024 event, but fans who watched Extreme Rules live will get their fix of live WWE content soon enough. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.